And we're back. Yes, the Gary J Sports page back on the air here on GJRB. Gary J wrestling with you on a Tuesday night. Wherever you're at tonight, whether you're here in Iowa or out east in New York, in Boston, and all that area, man, you got plummeted with some really nasty bad weather. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. Meanwhile, though, I want to talk about Mark Spears. He is a NBA writer, and he was talking about how Kobe Bryant is out for the season. Kobe is out. The LA Lakers did indeed waited until today in their final determination on how to respond to a torn right rotator cuff that he has suffered last Wednesday during the loss of New Orleans Pelicans. And it turns out that decision came down to one of the most important, and that remains whether or not his absence is important and vital to the LA Lakers. Now with him gone, what's that going to do to the LA Lakers? Is this a bad thing? And we asked him, how's this going to affect the LA Lakers now that Kobe Bryant isn't there? He says it's not that good of a thing. It doesn't look good for the rest of the
No, you can't make that argument. I think some would say that it's a good thing from a draft situation that they enhance their chances of getting a top pick. But keep in mind, it's only top 5 protected. They have to be really, really bad to ensure that they're going to be top 5, and then you have to draft lottery that could mess that up as well. There's 4 teams, Philly, Minnesota. There's other bad teams in the league that are going to make it difficult for them to get that top 5 pick with or without Kobe Bryant. It's not a given. It also takes the Lakers out of the national scene. All of a sudden, all their games are being taken off television. Not that they were great to see already, but there was always that curious factor when Kobe Bryant is playing. Now the Lakers are a forgotten team the rest of the year. No one's going to care until draft lottery night. So, no, I don't think this is a good thing. He's one of the greatest players ever played. We don't know how much basketball he has left, so I'll take all the Kobe Bryant I could get until he finally retires.
Yeah, and you have to wonder if he's gonna retire after that. I mean, well, you know, the rotator cuff, it's not a good thing. And this could cause him to not, I mean, he might have to retire. He might be forced to retire. I was watching the video of that yesterday, and it looked like, according to what the doctor was saying, it looked kind of serious, like, you know, it's misplaced. I don't know. I have a friend who has that problem. And it's not a thing that you get rid of fast. And Kobe Bryant might have to retire because this is not a good thing. That pain, I guess, is really bad, too. And it lasts long. I mean, the way it looks devastating. It looks like the end. It looks like the end for Kobe. And if he can't play no more, it's going to hurt the Lakers because he is a star of the Lakers. He's big time. He's a star of the Lakers. And when he goes, like he said, television rights for the Lakers you probably won't see him as much unless they get a really good player with that same caliber as Kobe Bryant. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. It really is. I'm looking to see what's going to conspire from that. It's going to be really interesting. And like you guys out east, oh, feel bad for you guys. You got it. That storm. I was watching footage last night, and boy, oh boy, is that they're saying. I mean, I looked at the, they didn't get it as bad as they thought they were going to get. But I was looking at their storm surge, especially on the storm surge where they finally got. I'm trying to say here. I hate when I do that. Let's try this again. The storm surge looked bad. They have water coming up over and there's some houses flooded. They had what was equal to Hurricane Sandy about a year or so ago, and this time it's snow. And I guess you're used to it. I mean, they get a foot of snow quite a bit, but this storm was really horrendous. And it canceled some basketball games. The NBA's postponed yesterday's New York Knicks game against the Brooklyn Nets because of this storm. And the Knicks were going to host Sacramento Kings Monday night. During the same time, the Nets were scheduled to play Portland Trailblazers. That game was canceled. Sacramento instead returned to Madison Square Garden for Tuesday, March 3rd. And then they added an extra game, which is going to be played in a 7-game trip. The Trailblazers Nets game is rescheduled, though, for Monday, April 6th. So it looks like that game will be played on April 6th. So they had to postpone that game because of that. I mean, that was one nasty storm. And they... it wasn't as bad, but they had a lot of storm surge on the Jersey Shore there. And that alone, a lot of damage there. What's really neat about the coverage of this, I was watching CNN's coverage last night, and it made me feel like I was riding in New York City. I mean, the way they had it set up, it was really cool. I mean, you rode with them in the car. They had a dash cam. And they were up on, they had a dash cam up on the, and you could watch. And it was like riding with them in New York City. It was the coolest thing. It's like, if it made me feel like I was actually in New York City there for a while, riding with them last night. Like, with that, I mean, it's a live picture, New York City during this storm, and to see it like that made me feel like I had been in New York without even taking a plane trip. It really was. It was really neat. And I like to, I mean, I always gripe about the past and how how I had to live in the great it must have been in the freaking 50s and that. And I always get in on that bit. And, I guess rethinking that whole thing, like, yeah, the past was great, and I guess living there, but look at now. Look at now. I could be on the radio talking to you, even though I didn't get a job in radio. I almost did a couple of times. I had a couple of chances at a couple of terrestrial stations. But when I look at the fact that internet has given me that opportunity to get on the radio, on the internet, and have listeners all over the United States on their computers, I thought, wow, 2015 ain't so bad, is it? I mean, really. I have people listening to me on Spreaker. I've listened to people listening to me on Facebook, Twitter. Have people listen to me, and it's like, wow, this is great. I mean, where else in any century could I have something like this? I mean, here it is, folks. Here it is. I'm sitting here on the radio, on the internet, doing a show for you right here on GJRB. And I was kind of upset on Friday. And I'll talk about that here in a minute. The Garyj Wrestling Program Friday kind of really bit the dust in a hurry. And we'll talk about that a little later on. And also give you our program schedule and stuff. But right now, though, hey, thought we'd kind of have you participate in our sports talk. on a Tuesday night, Clinton, Iowa, Midwest, USA. You want to talk to me on our Spreaker page? All you got to do, if you're listening, all you got to do, and some of you who may be listening on Twitter can hear me anyway. We'll get there. Because Twitter has a lot of sport. I got a lot of sports stuff on Twitter. I'll be on there in a little while. But you can listen to me on Twitter. You can listen to me on Facebook. But most importantly, you can get on Spreaker. All you got to do is Google GJRB Online. Just go in the search engine, Google it. I did this as a Joe Schmo about a month or so ago, right? And it took me there. So it should take you there. And it'll play my shows for you. You can just get on there and click any one of those. It'll take you right to my Spreaker public site. And right there is what you call a widget on the bottom of your screen there. And in that widget is a balloon. Looks like something you see out of a comic book. You click that. That's a chat room. You can talk to me while I'm on the air. You can send me messages and I'll read them on the air. And I'll respond to you. And you can talk about Kobe Bryant. You can talk about the game. If you're from New York and you're listening, and you're on your computer tonight, staying warm and keeping out of the bad weather, and listening and paying attention to the travel bans wherever they are. If you're in Boston, you're listening to the program, you can talk to me right here on Spreaker by sending me messages. Tell me how you're tolerating this weather, because I'll tell you what, this is really something else. I mean, we had not quite as bad as you guys got. I mean, it's wow. And we'll talk about that. And so if you want to talk to me about this, coming up here in just a matter of moments, I found. And I told you before, I heard this on ESPN last night, on ESPN radio. They were talking about this last night that someone got into the restroom there and were deflating footballs. They were deflating footballs. There's evidence of it. They have surveillance cameras. And they got the guy. They don't know who he is. He's an equipment manager or something, or someone who got in there before the last playoff game, whatever. Anyway, they spotted him. He had footballs, and he went into the restroom for 90 seconds. Okay, 90 seconds. He went into the restroom. What was he doing in there? Deflating footballs. Talk about that. It's mind-boggling, people. I'm telling you. This is, it's like I've said before, okay? I've always said, and I love sports. Mind you, I do. But here's the deal here. I've always said, and a friend of mine said this too. He said this has been going on for a long, long, long time. This is no news. This has been going on a long, 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 long time. Okay? And, I guess they're, I mean, I could be wrong, but that's what they said. They said it's been going on for a while. And I've always believed it. I've always said, there's something with this football. And I love football. I couldn't tell you anymore. I love football, but I've got to wonder. I used to always wonder if these games weren't somehow rigged. Okay? I used to always think that. I used to think that these games were somehow rigged. I mean, it kind of reinforces my theory, doesn't it? Just a little bit. Reinforces it. Well, we're going to talk about that. Because this is just, I think it did. It reinforced my whole theory. I don't know. It reinforces. I'll be right back. We'll talk about it. I got to